What's up, good people? Welcome to Tropicom TV, and of course, I'm your host, Gradiboy Papelon. And right now, here we are with the one and only.
Yes, Mr. Papelon. This is Dungi Giduku. I'm a field marshal.
Yeah.
That is a stage name because, from the band of the Field Marshals Band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a conversation with you because late in the conference, I've heard you sing about freedom songs, talk about Pio Gamapinto, all these kind of African leaders that we had, some of them were being murdered, and also you have talked about the Gen Z of Uganda, Uganda and also Tanzania. So what is this all about?
Well, you see, the field marshals, our music is what we call music not for the sake of music. It is music that also carries messages of freedom. So all our songs, the songs that we do, and we've been doing this for quite a while, we do music that will help people in Kenya, people in East Africa, Jumuiya yetu, and people generally in Africa, and even outside Africa, because we are Pan-Africanists. So wherever that we have African people or people who are oppressed, then our messages in our music are messages of encouragement, messages of solidarity, messages of protest, messages of liberation through music. Yeah.
Talking of rebellion, do you guys find yourself on the other side of the government? You've been quoted as terrorists or maybe some kind of rebels. We all know about rebels.
Yeah. One there, he was one of the Muthaiga Three, and he had been charged with arson, charged with terrorism, some unbelievable. Personally, like from the early 90s. So, who was the dictator of that time? Abducted and tortured. Most of the young people today. But Kenya was actually a movement, an underground movement. Mzalendo wa part of the people who went to help the mothers of political prisoners at the Freedom Corner in Uhuru Park. So that time, who was there was Wangari Maathai. And so we were the guys, Gen X. I'm from the Gen X generation, but I didn't know about Gen X until I heard about Gen Z.
So what drives you every day concerning that the government is always against you, and sometimes when the government is against you, there's so much that can be so worrying. In fact, also your family can be much worried. They can bring much troubles to you, your businesses. How does it affect you, and how have you been motivated?
Our to the through then that is trouble that government is bringing to the people. When we don't have and when young people are abducted and tortured in this country, yes, the government is being, a trouble to us, the people. And so we must always resist. And when we say resist, some quarters may think that when you mean resist, you mean violence. Not because you've just. And that. Kuna mtu ameumia. People are just dancing and having fun. So like having fun to have when you are struggle, because the struggle is really difficult. It's a difficult, tedious job. Less job. You are beaten by cops. You are tear gassed by cops. You are abducted for the DCIs of this country. And you see, when you look why they are doing this, is because they do not want you to help the rest of Kenyans to liberate themselves. I keep saying you cannot liberate a people, but you can help people liberate themselves. So when we sing music that is calling for the solidarity of Nick Oyo, who has been abducted in Uganda, when we talk about our brother, Bob Njagi, who is also, abducted in Uganda, we have to speak out, because if we don't, they are going to kill them. We are dealing with dictators, in East Africa. We are dealing with the headmaster of the dictators, who is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And he is the one who is kind of dictating what is going to happen in especially the rest of the two countries of East Africa, which is Kenya and Tanzania. So he's like the headmaster of these two countries, or rather the heads of these countries, because he's not my headmaster. And that's what I'm trying to say, that Jumuiya belongs to we, the people. Jumuiya does not belong to the leaders. It does not belong to the dictators. Jumuiya belongs first and foremost to the people, because without the people, they wouldn't have anybody to lead. So when you start abducting from take them to Tanzania like they did with Besigye. We saw what happened to, Boniface Mwangi, who was also abducted. Haire of Uganda. They underwent a lot of torture, and they believe for them legally. We'll go for them legally. We'll go for them musically. One day, not relenting to fight for our freedom, that we will have an East Africa that is free, an East Africa that does have, an East Africa that we we want freely exchanges. It's food and its poetry and its film. That is the kind of East Africa that we want. So without resisting, without singing, without doing poetry, then it means that these people will keep thinking that they are being glorified. So when we refuse to glorify them by singing songs that go glorify other people, so that they are able to, it means we will be working together. So when we say the Field Marshals Band, we also mean the Field Marshals Movement.
Okay, do you think the World Organization have put a bright eye on these things that have been happening? And also talking about all these cases that we have experienced, one of them is Rex Masai, and also the people who are murdered during the Gen Z demonstration. Do you think that justice shall prevail? And if justice shall prevail, who shall bring this justice to us?
Who shall bring this justice to us? It's we, the people. We are the ones who are going to do this.
But they have really ignored us, the leaders. They don't care, even the judiciary.
When the Mau Mau was going to the forest in 1950, and then there was a state of emergency declared in 1952, Operation Unveil. They stayed in the forest for how long? For 10 good years. 10 good years without seeing your family, 10 good years without seeing your people, 10 good years of dying, 10 good years of suffering, 10 good years of hunger, 10 good years of being hunted like animals, but they still did it. They stayed in the forest. Some of them, those who did not survive, may they rest in power. We know of people like Vaimungi, who, when he came out of the forest, he found that nothing has changed. What I was fighting for is still going on. We just have black skins, on the seat of white seats, They say that in some quarters, Jomo Kenyatta was the last, governor of the United Kingdom of England, representing England here in Kenya. And so the thing is to not relent. We have to be consistent. We do not have to look at ourselves like, tuko wachache. The Mau Mau were not many. They were just a section of Kenyans. And they decided that we are going to do this. And once they declared that, they went all the way to the end. And then we got our independence. Only that our independence was betrayed, because ours is a history of betrayal. So the people who took power were mostly people who were rewarding the home guards, the people who were fighting the Mau Mau, the Kenya Land and Freedom Army. They had a bigger opportunity of reading, of going to school, because they were mostly sons of chiefs. All right. So when independence came, it happened so that like instead of the Mau Mau being brought forth and everything, it is those elites, who came to power. So nothing quite changed, but we have not given up. Along the way, we have had people like Pio Gamapinto. Pio Gamapinto was a Mau Mau. He was originally from Goa, but he was Kenyan, and he was a journalist. He was a socialist, and what he did is that he continued fighting. He was detained, and he came out of prison. And when he was coming out of prison, before he came out of prison, one prisoner got released, a freedom fighter, and Pio Gamapinto, had some pair of shoes on. So he told him, brother, let me give you these shoes because you're gonna walk a long way while me I'm just chilling here. So he was that kind of a person. Those are the kind of qualities that we needed of our leaders at the beginning, but they are the ones who were eliminated. So when you look at the chronology of assassinations in independent Kenya, we have Pio Gamapinto, we have people like J.M. Karaoke, we have people like Billard Kagia, who was not eliminated immediately but was extinguished at his prime. He was an assistant minister, but with an ideological background, and so they did not let him come to the fore. So they kept in trying to kill him all the time, about 9 times, and it is in the 9th time that he resigned from parliament, and he said, I'm done with this, 1974. So he went back home. So when you look at the chronology of all these, you look at those who killed Bishop Muge. Bishop Muge was an advocate of human rights like me, only that he was using the pulpit while I use the guitar, So these are things that we have seen happening all along, but we don't give up, we keep going. And so I keep saying like, Ngogi wa Thiong'o, like when you find yourself down, the thing is not to complain, is to rise, dust yourself up, and keep going. Because if we let them kill our inside, then we will not be able to move and to inspire and to influence others to think like us, to think in a Pan-African way, to think in an ideological way, and to think of how to reimagine a new Kenya, a new East Africa, and a new Africa. So we have to keep going, we have to keep rising. Yeah, like they're doing in Tanzania today. I'm happy. I'm in solidarity with Tanzanians. I'm in solidarity with the Gen Zs of Tanzania. I'm in solidarity with the Gen Zote of Tanzania. Because what they are doing is to liberate their country and to finally say no. It is we the people, like it says in our constitution. We the people. That's why it begins. That all power belongs to the people. And so how you achieve that power, so long as it's peaceful means, let's do this. Yeah, man.
And we are talking right now about cybercrime and also the bill that has been passed by our president. So I wanted to ask you about this cybercrime. Do you think it is we are still in the days that we have to minimize the kind of content that we put on our social media platform, and also we should regularize? Do you support that bill?
Well, first and foremost, I don't support the bill. I don't support the way Kasongo is actually trying to deal with us, because what he's doing is that he's thinking that we are still living in the 80s, but this is not the 80s, this is not the 90s, this is this is today. So he should wake up and smell the coffee. And whatever that is draconian that he's going to try to pass, like the cybercrime bill, which we know like will try to, criminalize some of us, will try to terrorize some of us by accusing us of misusing the cyberspace. This is draconian. It must not be allowed at all. And if we allow this, then it means that they will continue chipping away, little by little. And at the end of the day, we are going to find them, doing what they have always wanted to do, which is to rule forever. So they are going to extend the terms of the presidency, and so that we can be electing, like a president who will stay for 8 years, 7 years. No, huko tulitoka bana. Tulitoka huko na Moi kitambo. If he can just go back to history, look at 1992, what happened in this country, then he'll know that, Kenyans ni wale wale. And also we know that it is great. Kenyans have, especially the Gen Zs of Kenya, have inspired the people. They have inspired Bangladesh, they have inspired Peru, and now they have inspired Tanzania. So we are going to inspire ourselves too. We will resist all this. We are experienced. We are the ones who are inspiring and teaching the rest.
They follow. So my guys, that's the one from the Githuku mwenyewe, Feed Mashari himself right here. Hey, man, say, and also your song, man, are very spiritual. I couldn't believe the one that you are talking about. You are mentioning Rex Masai,
Right.
all this in Piogama Pinto,
Yes, yes.
and also talking about that. How do you believe Baba was a revolutionist, and so many people have quoted him from his last days, of which I'd say rest in peace, Baba.
Right.
We have seen your struggles in this space, political space, fighting for us, the revolution that you have fought for us, and also some of the Rex. We have some governors who said some bad ones about him, and they say that they celebrate because the government was taking development to Nyanza, and right now we can have it because he is gone.
Yeah.
Quote that words about him. Tell us your opinion about it, and also, do you believe Baba was a revolutionist and he died as a revolutionist?
Well, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, may his soul rest in power. I would say that Baba was an interesting character. Baba was there for the people when the people really needed somebody like him in the space of the struggle. He was in the trenches with the people. From the, I would say, late 70s, 80s was his prime, where he was detained. Baba has... you know, if you add all the years he's been in and out of prison, is about 11 years or 9 years. So he has suffered for this country, for sure. Baba has been very consistent, especially in the early years. So you find that, you know, during the times of his father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, who is a Shuja. For sure, that one is a Shuja. Unlike Baba, who we have to ask, was he a Shuja or not a Shuja? Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Adonija, that was a Shuja, and he remains a Shuja. So during his time and the time that he was working with Pio Gama Pinto, he was working with Bildad Kagia, during his opposition party in the 60s of the Kenya People's Union, KPU. You know, he inspired so many people to think differently. And that's why I call him the brain box of African multipartism, because he was, you know, there in the 60s in the multi-party system that was later changed within 5 minutes in parliament. And so Baba comes from that kind of lineage, which is has a huge history of resistance. And he's lucky because his dad was a revolutionary. And so he met so many people, he listened to so many people talking, a lot of good thinking from people like Aching, Oneko, you know, people like, you know, greats, Odungiranda, people like, I mean, even Makan Singh, the thinking of Makan Singh, who was a trade unionist in the earlier days. So I believe that Raila Amolo Odinga has been a great fighter. And definitely I give him credit for all that he has done in pursuit for change in this country. Of course, I cannot forgive him for the handshakes. That one I cannot forgive. But I cannot say that now maybe in the bathwater, because in the last days of his life, Baba was not... What is going on? I couldn't believe that he's actually talking to Kasongo, you know. He handshook Moi, and that was very shocking also at that time. And then he handshook Kibaki, and then Uhuru. And I think the worst of all those is the one that he did now with Kasongo. And ask me why, is not because I personally have anything against Kasongo, but because the timing of it. When you look at the Gen Z who are really like going to take over this country, who had already taken over this country, who had already raided parliament and chased out all those, chase them crazy ball heads out of town. You know, they were running, you know, underground, you know, like rodents, because they had taken power, but they had not realized that we have taken power. And so when they got in, they were like, all right, we are here, what else? And that blink that they did is when, you know, I guess Kasongo took advantage of it and quickly, you know, reclaimed the power that had already been taken by the people. So I believe that Raila shouldn't have done that at that particular time. This was the time for him to say, you know, I hand over, you know, power to you. I hand over the baton to you. Please try and fill in my shoes while I'm still alive so that I can be able to guide you. And if you remember the Gen Z movement, when it was starting, there is one young lady who came out and said, Baba, umetupigania ya kutosha. Sasa kaa kando, ni sisi tutaendeleza. That would have been the opportunity that I would have taken if I was Baba to say, Binti, asante sana, mimi napatia nyinyi, mimi nachukua, leo kama nataka ni mpande ile, nakuja mimi napatia advice. Na kama ni advice mimi nikupandia yenu. That would have been so beautiful. He missed that chance. So what I say is that Baba, who was also my friend, my comrade, somebody I've hung out with, and somebody who I voted for, somebody who was very difficult to support, really, because some people did not like him completely. And so when you're seen supporting Baba, you are like, it's because you are really committed to this, and maybe this is a better choice, somebody we can be able to talk to and deal with, and akileta nyoko nyoko pia tungetoa yeye, you know what I mean? But I would say, may he rest well, but may he also be a lesson to those who are struggling now, that never betray the people. Always stay true to the race. Always stay true to what you believe in. Always don't be swayed by money. Don't be swayed by power. The struggle does not just appear, but like the flipping of a bulb, of a switch. It takes time and it grinds slowly, and through that slowness is where the beauty of it comes out in. So people should not be in a hurry. You think like I'm in the struggle, and then you're like, oh, now I want to make it rich. Now I want to go, and live like the rest of the, elites in plush areas. No. I think we have to look at the struggle in a way that we occupy little by little. And what we have occupied, we defend and guard that very, very, very jealously. Like that, those bills, the bills that those ones should be, we should be implementing, like we said in our song in the morning, to katiba yetu tuifanikishe so that it's able to work. And when the katiba works for us, then when we work for our katiba, then our katiba will work for us. So we have to implement the katiba first, and then we see what is going on. But you can start mutilating the katiba before it starts working. And when you look at the person who is actually steering that, is a person called William Ruto, who was against this constitution when we were fighting and dying for it. I lost many friends. I lost many comrades. Karemi Nduthu is one of those people I lost, 1994. There are so many people who have, along the way, including Rex Masai, have died because of defending this constitution. So we must resist. We must sing against Kasongo. We must write poetry against Kasongo. And we must continue rising and standing in solidarity as a people, so that once we come together, forget about Ukabila, this country is so beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful. It's not one of the most beautiful countries. Kenya is the most beautiful country in the world. And I say that, without fear. Very beautiful. We must defend it. Yeah.
They say a good dancer knows when to exit the stage. That was the story about Baba. Yes. Okay, so right now, going to forward, Lin Ngugi, one of our journalists, had tweeted that if we copy Chinese in everything that they do, also we should copy them in angles who are caught on corruption cases. Do you think that that point maybe might happen in Kenya, considering that the kind of manipulate the system, and also every person who raises the voice, they want to cut him short?
Well, there's one thing I keep saying, and when you see Kenya Pipeline being sold, state property. When you say state property, you mean the people's property. This is our property. Kenya Pipeline is our property. KICC is also on the list. There's quite a number of bombers of Kenya. You see what is happening right now. They are quite like like construction going on, without public participation on any of those things that are happening. It gets to a point when I say, you know what, Ruto, just steal everything.
But one day.
Just steal everything. Because I don't need to keep complaining every day. Just steal pamoja, iyo yishe, And then we come back for everything. And we will come back for everything. And, you know, power, they say, is transient. You are not going to be there forever. You are not. You see, I'll be checking in a few minutes about Mama Suluhu. But I really have a gut feeling Mama Suluhu is not going to survive today. My feeling. My feeling. I feel that she's going. Because the people have decided. And once the people decide, then there's no turning back. We saw what happened in Bangladesh. There was another Idi Amin Mama there. You know, the young people, Gen Zs of Bangladesh, walked all the way into her bedroom. You know, she had to flee. We saw what happened in Peru. You know, Peru is going on right now. We saw what happening in there is another, you know, crisis happening in Cameroon, where we have a 92-year-old Paul Biya, who is being told that you have won, and then he's like, won what? He has no idea. He has no idea there is an election. The army chief of staff is 93. You know, the attorney general is 82. So you're like, what's going on?
So still, a common do is qualified in everything, but in total, your time will come.
Your time will come. Unaambia tu vijana, someni. Nyinyi ndio viongozi wa kesho. Tukasoma tukamaliza university. Vijana, someni. Nyinyi ndio viongozi wa kesho. Tukasoma tukatoka nje. Tukakosa kazi. Vijana, someni. Jameni. Hata hii masomo zikae. If it is about ati nyinyi kaeni tu mkingoja. So Ruto must understand that power belongs to the people, and whatever he steals and whatever oppression that he does against the people, the killings that are going on of young people, you know, of women. We know the story of Kware. We don't have a solution up to now. We know there are so many properties around this country that are being stolen by his people and the people around him. Let them steal. We are coming for them. And I believe that one day we will be out there and we will be saying hii ilikuwa ni mali ya umma tunarudisha. Because when we want to change, we are not saying just change an individual. We are saying we have to change for the better. All we want is good governance. We want governance that is fair to the people, not one that only favors the people in power. And so these VIPs who I call vagabonds in power, let them steal. Continue stealing. Tunakuja, my friend. We are coming for you. Yeah, ipo siku. Ipo siku. Na hiyo siku ikifika, inaitwa siku ya kiyama. Kila mtu ni kuamua. Na hiyo itakuwa Gen Z, itakuwa ni Gen zote. Na tutainuka na tutaenda na tuta change. Because wanashangaa ya kwamba, you know, why do we complain? It's because we are the bosses. Hawa watu ni kazi wanatufanyia. Wakati tunaenda kwa debe every 5 years, ni kazi tunaajiri mtu. Tunamwambia wewe sasa tumekuajiri kama MCA, tumekuajiri kama MP, all the way up kama rais. So but once they get there, and some of them of course have got the intention of going there to become like our bosses. They are not our bosses. These guys are not our bosses. We are the